Hello students, in the previous video we have completed the sectional front view of the assembly drawing of the lathe tool post. In today's session we will complete the top view of the assembly drawing. This was the entire sectional front view which we have drawn with the given dimension. Now we will draw the top view for the same. Now for drawing the top view we have to consider the diameters of the various circles, as the different parts in the lathe tool post are cylindrical in nature, so the top view will be basically circles. Only one part, that is the square block which is at the bottom, will be of square in shape, whereas the remaining parts will be circular in nature. So the top view will consist of circles of various diameters. Now we will draw the circles. First circle to be drawn is the circle of largest diameter. Now this is the ring which is circular in shape, and this is of the largest diameter. The diameter of the wrist of this ring was equal to 120 mm. So we will take the distance half of 120, that is 60, directly from the front view. This distance, we will take this distance, that is half of the ring distance, half of the diameter of the ring, 60. Now this ring, if observed from the top view, will be visible to us. This ring is of largest diameter, so if we observe the assembly from the top, then this ring will be visible. So the top view of this ring will be a dark circle of diameter 120 mm. So we will draw a circle for this. Now in the top view we have marked the center. This is the vertical center line and this is the horizontal center line. Now with this center we will draw a circle of radius of diameter 120 mm. So this circle is of diameter 120 mm and will represent the top view of this ring. Now the next circle that we have to draw is, if you observe, the diameter of this part, this portion from here to here was 48 mm, was equal to 48 mm. You see this question, the diameter of this upper part from here to here was 48 mm, and if we observe from the top, then this diameter 48 mm is visible. So we will draw a dark circle for the same. So we will take half the distance, that is equal to 24. We will take this distance from the front view, half distance from the front view. Then we will place the rounder at the center in the top view and then draw a circle of diameter 48. So this circle is of diameter 48, that is, it is the top view of this portion which is of diameter 48. Now the next diameter to be drawn is this cylindrical part from here to here is of diameter 60 mm. It was given in the question, the cylindrical part from this part to this portion is of diameter 60 mm. Now if we observe this figure from the top view, this cylindrical portion will be visible from the top view, that is from here to here, this portion will be visible. So for this portion we will draw a circle in the top view of diameter 60 mm, which will be a visible circle or circle that can be seen from the top. So it will be a dark circle. So for drawing we will take directly the dimension from the front view. We will take this half distance. You can see that to take the distance from this point to this end, that is from center to the end, it is equal to 30 mm. Then we will place our rounder and then we will draw a circle in the top view like this, and this circle which we have drawn now is of diameter 60 mm. So this circle, internal circle, was of diameter 48 mm and was visible from the top. This circle is of diameter 60 mm, it was also visible from the top, and this represents the top view of the ring of diameter 120 mm. So basically till now we have drawn the top view of three cylindrical parts or three circles, top view of this ring, then the top view of this portion which is equal to 48 in diameter, and the top view of this part, cylindrical part, which is 60 mm in diameter. Now the next part that will be visible from the top if we observe this figure from the top view, then this portion or the head of the screw, which is of diameter as given in the question, equal to 36. This head was of diameter 36. This is also visible from the top, so it will be drawn as a dark circle. If you see the question, we can see this was the head of the screw. This head, I am talking about this head, and this head is of diameter 36 mm. So this head which is drawn in the question is nothing but of diameter 36 mm. So this will be drawn as a dark circle in the top view. So first we will take half the distance from the front view. We will take directly half the distance from here to here. We will take half the distance from the front view. Then we place at the center in the top view, and then we'll complete the circle, which will be a dark circle. So we have drawn the circle. So this circle is a dark circle which is visible, and it represents the top view of this portion, which is of diameter 36 mm. This portion is of diameter 36 mm. I am writing here the diameter. You can see I am giving the dimension. Earlier dimension was not given, so I am giving the dimension here. So this part is of diameter 536. So 536, this will be visible from the top, so we have drawn a dark circle for that. Now the next part that we have to draw, if we see this portion, this bottom, from this portion from here to here, it is also cylindrical in shape, and this portion was having the diameter as 72 mm. In the question, diameter of the bottom of the base of the post was given as 72 mm. You can see this is 72 mm. So the diameter from here to here is 72 mm, and this portion will not be visible from the top view. That is, if we observe this figure from the top view, then this portion which is at the bottom will not be visible from the top view. So we have to draw a dotted circle to represent that, and this diameter was equal to 72 mm. So we will take half the distance of 72 mm. We will take half the distance of 72 mm. So we don't need to take the distance. We can take directly the distance from the front view. So I am taking the distance from here to here. We have taken this distance. We will take half the distance, that is this distance. Now this portion or this part is not visible from the top, so for that we will draw a hidden circle. So with this center, I will draw a hidden circle, that is dotted circle, as it is hidden, not visible from the top. You can see so we have drawn a hidden circle. Now this circle is the top view of this part of diameter 72 mm. Now the next diameter that will be drawn is of diameter 74 mm. Now, as can be seen from the question, the square block is having a hole at the bottom, and this hole is of diameter 74 mm. So it is written here 74 mm. So this part is represented in the figure here. The distance from this point to this point is equal to 74. This represents the diameter 74, and this hole will not be visible from the top. If we observe the assembly from the top, this hole, first part of 72 will not be visible, and the second hole of 74 mm will also be not visible. So we have to draw a hidden circle of diameter 74 mm to represent it in the top view. So we will take the distance from this point to this point, this distance. We will take the distance from this point, and this. So this distance is equal to half of 74, and then we will draw a dotted circle in the top view again. So you can see I am drawing a dotted circle. So Again we have drawn a dotted circle. This is the second dotted circle, which will be of diameter 74 mm. So this first dotted circle, which is inside, is of diameter 72 mm and hidden, and the second dotted circle outside is of diameter 74 and is also hidden. Now the next part that we have to draw is the square block. Now top view of the square block. Now this is the square block. This entire part is the square block, and its top view will be a square of side 90 mm. As given in the question, you can see this was the block and its top view was a square. You can see this is a square of side 90 mm. So now we have to draw the top view of the square block, which will be a square of side 90 mm. Now this square block will not be visible completely from the top view. Some portion of the square block will be visible. You can see this square block is lying below the ring. So we can say that this square block will be hidden by this square ring, or it is, since it is lying below, the some part of the square block will be visible, whereas the remaining part will be hidden because of this ring which is present on the upper side. So while drawing, the portion of this square block which lies outside this ring will be visible, and the portion of this square block which is lying below this ring, this is the top view of the ring, so the portion of the square block which is lying inside this ring will be hidden, whereas the portion of the square block which is lying outside the ring will be visible. So that will be drawn as dark, and portion lying inside will be hidden. So we will draw it. Now we have to draw a top view as a square of side 90 mm. So we will take a distance of 45 mm, and we can project it directly from the front view. This is the square block, so we will now project it. I am taking the distance. Draw a light line first. You have to project this distance directly from the top view. Again we have to project this line. This is the end of the square block. Now I am projecting it. So I have projected the square block, that is the front view into the top view. This was the end line, so I have projected directly into the front view. This was the end line, so I have projected directly into the top view. Now we have got the length as 90 mm. Now we will mark the width as 90 mm. So in order to mark the width, take distance of 45 mm from this point. Take distance 45 mm above and 45 mm below. So we will take the distance 45 mm. So 45 mm distance above and 45 mm below. So from this point we have marked the distance 45 mm above and 45 mm below. Now we will complete the square. Now as you can see, while drawing this edge of the square, the portion from here to here is drawn as dotted, because this portion of the square block from here to here will go below the ring, that is below this ring, hence it will be not visible. So the portion of the square block from here to here will be hidden, whereas the portion of the square block lying outside will be visible, so it is drawn as dark line. Similarly, while drawing this line, the portion from here to here which is lying below this ring will not be visible. So we will draw it again. Now we will complete this edge. So this portion which is lying outside the ring will be visible, so it is drawn as dark line. Similarly, this portion which is lying outside will be visible, so it is drawn as dark line. And this portion which is going below the ring will be hidden, so it will be drawn as dotted line. So we have drawn this dotted line, and this portion again which is outside will be drawn as dark line. So this portion outside will be dark, this portion will be hidden. Similarly, the portion from here to here will be hidden, so we will draw with the help of dotted lines. So I am drawing dotted line. Now we will complete the square. We will draw this horizontal edge. The portion outside will be dark and the portion inside will be hidden. Now you can see the portion which is lying outside, this and this, will be hidden, whereas the will be visible, so it is drawn as dark. And the portion lying below the ring from here to here, here to here, here to here, and here to here will be hidden, so it is drawn as dotted. So this is a square block of side 90 mm. I am giving the dimension. You can see here this square block is of side 90 mm. This is of side 90 mm. Now the next part to be drawn is the wedge. Now you can see this wedge. This is the wedge. Now the top view of this wedge will be a rectangle. As you can see in this figure, the top view of this wedge is a rectangle of width 24 and length 144. So now we will draw the wedge. Now this wedge is to be projected directly in downward direction. So the top view will be rectangle, so we have to project the width. We will project the width directly from the front view. You can see, place your roll and draw center line and then project the width, which will be equal to 24. Now I am projecting the width directly in the top view. Similarly, project this line in the top view. So you can see, for drawing the top view of the wedge, which will be a rectangle, just project these two lines, first line and this is the second line, into the top view, so that we can get the width directly, which is equal to 24 mm. Now the length of the wedge is equal to 144 mm. The total length of the wedge is equal to 144 mm. So we will mark the distance of 72 mm above and 72 mm below. From this center we have to mark 72 distance mm above and 72 mm distance below. So we will mark the distance from the center. We will take 72 mm. So 72 mm above, from here to here it is a distance of 72 mm, and again below we will again mark a distance of 72. So you can see I have marked the distance from the center 72 mm above and 72 mm below, since the total length of the wedge is 144 mm. Now we will complete the wedge. So I have drawn a dark line. Similarly, on the bottom side we will draw a dark line. Now we will complete the wedge. Now the entire wedge will not be visible from the top view. You can see that this wedge is placed inside the post, and the diameter of the post was 60 mm. The diameter of this part is what? 60 mm. The wedge which is placed inside the post is placed inside the post, and the diameter of this portion is equal to 60 mm. So we can say that the portion of the wedge which is lying inside this diameter will be hidden, or we can say the portion of the wedge lying inside the circle of diameter 60 mm will be hidden, whereas the portion lying outside will be visible. So this entire wedge will not be visible from the top view. Some portion of the wedge will be visible from the top view and some will be hidden. So hidden part will lie inside the circle of diameter 60 mm. Now we have to check which circle is of diameter 60 mm. Now we will check it. I will take the distance from here to here. This diameter is equal to 60 mm. Now I will place here rounder. We will check the distance 60 mm. I have taken the distance half of 60. Now we will check which circle is of 60 mm. So this circle, that is this circle is of diameter 60 mm. So the portion of the wedge which is lying inside this circle will be hidden, whereas the portion lying outside will be visible. So the portion of the wedge from here to here will be visible, so it is drawn as dark line. Similarly, this portion will be dark. This circle is of diameter 60 mm, so this portion will be hidden. The part of the wedge which is going under a circle of diameter 60 mm will be hidden. So this was the circle of 60 mm diameter, so this portion will be dark and this portion will be hidden. As you can see, some portion of the wedge is visible, so it is drawn as dark, and the portion from here to here, from this point to this point, is hidden because it is inside the post. This circle is of diameter 60 mm. This portion was of diameter 60 mm. So the portion of the wedge going inside the circle of diameter 60 mm will be hidden. So this circle is of diameter 60 mm, so the portion inside it will be hidden, whereas the portion outside will be visible, so it is drawn as dark. Similarly, you can note that now some part of this ring, this was the top view of the ring, some part of this ring is going below the wedge. This is the wedge. Some part of this ring is going below the wedge, that is this part. So this part will not be visible, so the portion from here to here should be hidden. So we have to replace it with dotted lines. You can see this portion will be replaced with dotted curve like this. So this portion will be hidden, so it is drawn with the help of dotted curve. Similarly, the portion below, which is below the wedge, the portion of this ring which is going below this wedge will be hidden. So we will draw dotted curve here. Clear? Now the last portion that is remaining is the square head. That is the square head, this head, the top view of this head of the screw, and this internal threading which is present. Now the diameter of this internal threading was given in the question as 18. So the major diameter was 18 and the minor diameter was 16. If we observe from the top view, this internal threading will not be visible since it is lying inside the post. So they will be drawn as dotted circles in the top view. So we will draw two dotted circles. First dotted circle will be of diameter 18 mm, which will represent the major diameter. So this diameter, which is 18 mm, will represent the major diameter. For first we will draw a dotted circle of diameter 18 mm. Okay, I will erase it. We will draw it properly. First we will take the major diameter equal to 18 mm. The major diameter of the thread was 18 mm. So we will take a distance of half of 18, that is 9 mm on the rounder. We place a rounder and we will complete the circle, which will be a hidden circle. Okay students, we will draw it later on. First we can complete the top view of this square or the head of the screw, because if we observe from the top, first the head will be visible and this thread is inside, so this is lying below. So first we will complete the top view of the visible head. Now the top view of this portion of the head is of side 18. This was a square of side 18. As you can see from the question, the top view is a square. It is given here. The top view is a square of side 18. So in the top view we can observe this head in the form of a square of side 18 mm. So first we will draw a square of side 18 mm in the top view. For that we have to mark distance 9 mm towards left and 9 mm towards right. Now this is the center. From the center we will mark 9 mm towards left and 9 mm towards right. So 9 mm left and 9 mm right. Similarly, we will mark distance 9 mm above and 9 mm below. From the center, to draw the square, you have to mark distance 9 mm left and 9 mm right. Similarly, from the center, you have to mark distance 9 mm above and 9 mm below. So we will mark the distance 9 mm above and 9 mm below. So we have marked the distance. Now we will complete the square. So this is a square. Which is the top view of this screw head. This dimension was 18, so this square will be of side 18 mm and it will be visible, so we have drawn the square of side 18 mm in the top view. Now we will draw the threading. To draw the threading or the top view of the thread, we will take the distance again half, that is the major diameter was 18, so we will take the distance as 9. So students, you can see we have to draw a circle inside this square which will be of diameter 9 mm. This is a circle which has to be drawn inside this square of side 9 mm. Now what is this circle? This circle represents the chamfer edges or the chamfer circle. This is nothing but the chamfer circle. As we have drawn in the front view, you have drawn this curve. This curve represents nothing but the chamfer circle, and the chamfer circle will lie inside the square of side 18 mm. So now we have completed the front view and we have completed the top view also. Now we can give some dimensions. The dimensions which were left out we can give. Now this side, this is equal to 18. This dimension or the side of this square was 18 mm. Now the side of the square was 90 mm. We will give the dimension again. We will draw a light line. So this dimension was 90 mm. Now we will give the diameter of this ring. The diameter of this ring we can give here. The diameter of this ring was 120 mm, so we will write here phi 120. The diameter of this ring was 120 mm, so we are writing here the dimension as phi 120 mm. Similarly, the diameter of this port from here to here was 60 mm, so we can give the diameter here. We will write the dimension here as this diameter is equal to phi 60. So you can give the remaining dimension also, and finally we can say that we have completed the sectional front view and the top view of the assembly drawing of lathe tool post.